So hi everybody, it's Kim and welcome to another episode of Come Spin With Me. I believe that today's episode is episode 11, I believe. Hopefully I'm right. What a day. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat that this is my second attempt at recording this video today. I did the entire thing earlier during a late lunch hour of my workday. It is now the end of my workday. I'm done. And I recorded the whole thing, thought it went really well, and then I, thank God, uploaded the video and went to go watch it real quick just to see how the quality was, and noticed that the entire time I had recorded, I had a gigantic leaf of cilantro right in my teeth. So humiliating. Oh my God. So I had to scrap the entire 20-minute video and I've got to do it all over again. So we are refilming. This is take 2, snap, of Come Spin With Me. How mortifying, but I am so glad that I looked instead of just uploading it. Because how sad would that have been? Oh, you guys probably would have loved me anyway. And if you didn't, oh well, it's a little green thing in your teeth. What you gonna do? So anyway, for today's episode, I brought down some fiber for fiber porn. I brought some yarn in for yarn porn, and we are going to spin the Safest Houses, which I continue to spin on. And as luck would have it, I had been ashamed to admit in the first taping of this episode that I had not spun at all since the last video last week. But now I can say I actually spun during filming this week and I'm going to spin again. So I'm going to get double. Double the spinning done today, which is pretty awesome for me. Even though it means I have to redo this whole video. Oh well. So let's go ahead and start with the fiber porn today. I brought down 4 fibers to show off. 3 of them are by dyers I've already shown you before. And the 4th one is a dyer that I don't think I've shown you any fiber from. I may have shown you a finished yarn from her that I spun from one of her fibers, but I don't think I've ever shown you any of her fibers. So let's start today off with David from Southern Cross Fiber, who you've seen plenty of fiber from because I have a ton of his fiber. This is the Corriedale wool top that was the club fiber offering for February of 2013. So this is a little over a year ago. And it was called Distant Thunder. And this is such a beautiful colorway. I don't have a lot of experience spinning Corriedale, but it definitely has its own fan club, people that really like Corrie. I think it would probably make some really nice socks. And the colors in this are just beautiful. There's this beautiful kind of pale periwinkle blue that moves into a dusky purple, then this beautiful acid green color, and then some kind of a caramel, and then moving into a darker brown. Just gorgeous. I think it would make really, really pretty socks in a traditional 3-ply. With a lot of barber pulling, it would be beautiful. Okay, next I've got a couple of fibers from the gals over at 2 of by Hand. Both of them were dyed by Jalen. I seem to be really drawn to Jalen's fibers. I think a little bit more so than Maria's. I still do have a lot of Maria's colorways too, but if I added them all up, I bet I have more of Jalen's than I do of Maria's. No particular reason, just color preference. Jalen seems to do a lot of braids that have a lot of color in them, a bunch of different colors as opposed to a color family, although she does some of those too. But these are 2 examples of that. This first one is called Prim, and it is a super fine merino. In fact, there's so much glare. I think I'll try and take these out of the plastic where I can. This is called Prim. It's super fine merino. It is absolutely gorgeous. I just love it. They did a Hunger Games series and this was part of that. And the superfine merino is, there are people that, I mean, there are huge fans of merino. I'm a fan of merino. And then there are people that think it's kind of difficult to spin just regular pure merino. And this superfine is worth any amount of aggravation. And I don't think it's aggravating to spin. I think the superfine merino is great to spin. I enjoy it. Some people do, some people don't, but the resulting yarn is just incredibly soft, incredibly soft. And then the second one from Jalen, this is very, this is a little, well, no, I wouldn't say very similar. I love this colorway, and I have it on a couple of bases because I really, really love it. And I've spun it once before. I believe it's in my finished, my stash yarn of hand spun, and it's called Sarcasm. And this particular braid is a BFL base, Blue Face Luster base. The colors in this are just spectacular, and the one that I did, I can't remember. You'd have to go look in my stash and see if you can find the hand spun Sarcasm. I can't remember if I did a 3-ply or a chain ply. I can't, or a Navajo ply or a traditional 3-ply. I can't remember. Isn't that terrible? More than likely a Navajo ply, but oh, I think this would be beautiful in a 3-ply too. But I think when I get braids that are this many colors, I'm always kind of afraid of doing a traditional 3-ply because I don't want to muddy the colors up. And if you get too many of them going together, sometimes it visually turns to mud. And that's happened to me before, and it was really disappointing. So I tend to stick with chain ply for the ones with a lot of vibrant color. Okay, last one that I have is from a dyer that I haven't shown you fiber from before, and I'd love to take it out of the plastic, but it's one of those loose fibers like David's that I really can't, because then it just kind of explodes into this big long loopy spaghetti braid. But this is from Nest Fiber Studios, and this is a colorway called Pink Tangerine. I'll come back a little bit, try and get out of the glare. This is on a Falkland base. This has these beautiful ice blues and then very vibrant kind of fuchsia, pinky reds, and then some orange and brown and a little bit of green. The predominant colors in this are the blue and the pink. This is one of her repeatable colors that she offers during her updates pretty frequently. I think she actually had a spin along for this too, where you could custom order it, and that may have been where I got this. She is hot, hot, hot. Her fiber updates go super fast. You have to be really quick if you want to get something because she's very, very popular. But I've spun a couple of her fibers so far, and it was worth it. They were really nice fibers, very well prepped, very easy to spin, and I love the resulting yarn. This is one of those that I was actually able to spin thicker, and I got like a worsted weight yarn from her. Okay. That's it for fiber porn. Real quick, let me show you the yarn. Again, if you've followed me on Instagram, you will have already seen this, but I'm going to show it off everywhere that I possibly can because I'm in love. I got this from Blue Moon Fiber Arts. Yeah, Blue Moon Fiber Arts. And it's a new colorway called A Room Without a Roof. How cute is that? And I misidentified this. I spoke about this before, I believe, on one of the Come Spin With Me or I'm sorry, not the Come Knit With Me videos. And I think I mentioned having ordered it and that I was in love with it. And I misidentified it. I called it something else, some other name, colorway name, but it's actually Room Without a Roof. And this is the BFL. It's a little bit more loosely spun than their standard Socks That Rock Superwash Merino sock yarn. This is the same weight. It's a sock weight yarn. It's still the same yardage, 405 yards, but it's a little bit more loosely spun, and the BFL takes the color a little bit differently than the Merino does. So the colors are just a little bit different. I have a total of 3 of the BFLs. And my intent is to make maybe a little short-sleeved cardigan with it. I have a little over 1,200 yards, so that's plenty for something small like that. So if you have any recommendations of maybe a simple short-sleeved kind of cardigan, maybe V-neck, maybe round neck, that you would like to recommend, please do it in the comments section because I'm still looking for the right pattern. I just haven't found it yet, so any suggestions you have will be much appreciated. Ooh, got a sippy. Okay, and real quick, here is the same colorway on the medium weight Superwash Merino base. Purple, blue, yellow, green. Oh, gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna reset and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was just about to get cut off, so I know I kind of went through that really quickly. Just real fast, just to show you, I've got 2 of the medium weight in that room without a view, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. Probably socks, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. It's just such a beautiful colorway. Who knows, I might order more. Hopefully this angle works out for you guys. It's not quite, I got a better angle in the first time I taped this episode, unfortunately. I can already tell by looking at it. But hopefully this lets you see a little bit more of the wheel, and you can still see the yarn or the fiber as I'm spinning. Oh, gotta pull out dog hair and cat hair. Ooh. Anywho, so bonus spin time for me. Not so much for you guys, because you don't get to see the green cilantro tooth episode. Sorry about it. So still spinning the Safest Houses on Polwarth. I am anxious to see this spun up, which is something I talked about the first time I filmed this. I really am anxious to see how this yarn finishes. I'd like to see if I'm going to get at least a DK weight thickness for the finished yarn, which would be really nice. And I have been considering, while I'm spinning it, some options for what I might be able to do with the finished yarn, because I'm definitely going to be keeping it for myself. This will not be going to the shop. Sorry about it. But I love this colorway so much. And I only have, I believe I have one other bump of it. So just one other bag. So it's not like I've got a ton or a sweater quantity or anything. So I'm thinking that what I might do is something that I have seen a lot of spinners do over the last, well, since the pattern came out, is to use your hand spun, or use my hand spun, in this case this one, if I can get it thick enough, as the yoke portion of a garter yoke cardigan. And if you go on Ravelry and you look up garter yoke cardigan, I believe it was published in Interweave Knits, and I'm not sure which issue it was, but it was a pattern that was published in one of the Interweave Knits magazines. And it's just a very simple cardigan. It's done with a garter stitch yoke for the top, and then the rest of the sweater is just a simple stockinette. It's longish. It goes a little below the hip, and it's got a lot of small buttons that come right up the front. It's really, really cute, and I have been meaning to make one for a very long time and just have never gotten around to it. But I've seen a lot of spinners, especially when they've got like just 1 4-ounce bump maybe of a fiber that they really love, that they would want a sweater out of, but they just don't have enough of the fiber to knit or to spin for a sweater. They'll use the 1 4-ounce bump that they have, spin it up, and then use that as the yoke, and then a solid commercial yarn as the body of the sweater, and it looks really good. So I'm considering doing that with this fiber, since I only have 2 bumps, and then that way I could spin the second bump up some other time and maybe try spinning it a different way, maybe doing it as a traditional 3-ply instead of a chain ply, and then I could use that for socks and use this one for the yoke of a sweater. Whatever, gives me some options. Definitely gives me some options. But I'm really, really enjoying watching these singles wind onto the bobbin and seeing the different color transitions. I really am looking forward to seeing this yarn finished. As I'm sure are you, because you're probably getting sick to death of seeing me spinning the same bump of fiber week in and week out. But hey, we did that with the last round too, with that critter from Hello Yarn. And that turned out to be a beautiful finished yarn as well, with a ton of yardage that I have not knit with yet. But it goes right into the hand spun stash, baby. Right into the stash. Oh, so what a week. It's the last week of school for my son, which is very nice. He'll be on summer break, which is always pleasant for me. I really like it when he's home. I enjoy him so much, and as he's getting older, I know that the days of him being at home all summer are going to be coming to an end sooner than I'd like. So I do treasure and try not to take for granted any of the time that I actually do get to spend with him. So summer is very nice. I work from home some days, so every week, so I get to spend time with him then, and we usually have lunch together, and we had a nice time last summer, so I'm expecting more of the same this summer. Be very nice, very relaxing, hopefully. And then I don't feel so bad leaving Amy when I go to work, because she's not going to be by herself, which is very, very nice. So it's the Memorial Day weekend's coming up. I don't know if any of you have plans. I do not. My plans are the usual, to hang out with my knit peeps on Saturday and film our Come Knit With Us podcast. We are going to be talking, I think Sam and I will be talking soon about doing the next giveaway that we promised once we hit 300 subscribers on my channel, and we did that, so I'm very excited. Thank you all. And let's see what else. Monday's an off day, so hopefully Monday I will get to spend a little extra time spinning or knitting or perusing Ravelry or whatever. Maybe all of the above. All of the above. I still have, I know I talked last week about a massive case of cast-on-itis, and I'm still suffering from it. I'm trying to limit, or at least satiate, that desire to cast on 100,000 new things by just looking at patterns online. But I have cast on the pair of socks. I bought another thing of sock yarn, of the mono sock yarn last week, to cast on for more socks, because yeah, you always got to be knitting socks, right? I'm still working on the log cabin blanket. The pink sock weight cardigan that I was knitting is on hiatus while I'm working on other things. I would like to be getting a little bit more spinning done, and luckily with this filming I actually get to do a little. Otherwise, probably wouldn't get it done. Sad son. I have to keep, sorry, I keep looking at the, away from the camera, because I'm looking at the timer on the back because I forgot to set my timer again. So if anybody has any fun plans for the weekend coming up, tell me in the comments section. That would be very nice. Don't really have so much a question of the week this week, but I am serious about wanting your suggestions if you know of any nice short sleeve cardigan patterns that I could use this room without a roof yarn for. It's highly variegated, so it would have to be something very simple, because pattern is just definitely going to get lost. But if you've got any recommendations, I'm beginning to think that I'm just going to be going to my Barbara Walker and just doing a typical top-down V-neck pattern using that formula, and maybe trying it that way, because that would be super simple. Unless somebody gives me another suggestion that I fall madly in love with, that's probably what I'll do. But since I already have several sweaters on the needles, who knows when I'll start that? And I'm not in any big hurry anyway. Golly, this section of green and blue that I'm spinning right now looks so similar to the green and blue section in the yarn that I just bought. Interesting. Okay, well, it looks like it's just about time, so I will quickly say my goodbyes. Let's make sure you're not talking to my chin. Thanks so much for stopping by this week. I'm sorry I had to film this twice for me, but good, because I got a lot of spinning done. And again, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.